All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is Tim Allen is sick of woke Hollywood and destroys it. Let's go and check it out, guys.
It was
let's jump into
I
it.
grew up on Richard Pryor. You can't even go back and talk about the book he wrote.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard Pryor was wild.
What I got to do sometimes is explain, which I hate in big arenas, that this is a thought police thing, and I do not like it. But when I use these words, this is my intent behind those words.
Yeah. Wow.
So as long as you understand my intent, I still get people, well, just don't say it. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but they take it out of context and put it on Twitter or put it on Facebook.
I'm surprised they haven't.
Hollywood's favorite anti-woke comedian is back at it again, causing outrage with a single tweet that's got everyone talking.
All right, let's
For
go.
years, he's made it clear he's not here to toe Hollywood's woke line, and he's certainly not going to apologize for asking questions that woke Hollywood doesn't like. So what happens when this award-winning comedian and actor decides to take on the woke machine? If you've been online at all, you know Tim Allen isn't one to keep his opinions quiet. He's the guy who will tweet something outrageous, lean back, and watch the woke crowd lose their minds. It's not his first rodeo, and it probably won't be his last. But his latest tweet? This one hit a nerve like no other. The response was immediate and explosive. This one tweet had Twitter mobs going berserk. They just couldn't handle that Tim dared to call them out. People were scrambling to blast him for crossing the line. But let's face it, Tim Allen isn't about to let the woke dictate what he can and can't say. And honestly, that's why he's been such a thorn in Hollywood's side for so long.
Because
also why we don't see him much, guys.
Saying a word, and it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of unbelievable. It's
actually disturbing on a fundamental level. It's gotten to the point where literally there's part of me, a deep part of me, that just, F it, bring it on. If you want to cancel me, go ahead.
But that's not...
You can't cancel rich people, but for some reason people think that that's a thing.
Not the only thing driving woke Hollywood mad. Tim's been poking the bear for years, and he's become an expert at it. Take his Disney trip, for example. While enjoying a day at Disneyland, he shared an anecdote that made everyone do a double take. Tim overheard a 13-year-old kid wondering if he was pansexual because he likes skillets. Classic Tim. He couldn't help but share this moment online, poking fun.
Bro, the first time I heard that word, you guys in the comments had to educate me because I didn't understand. Right? I'm just going to be completely honest. I didn't even know it was a crazy thing to say. That was basically my same response, right? Because who knows, right? I don't know what people are into these days. I'm not people, right? I spend half of my year in the United States of America. That's basically it. Or sometimes more, sometimes less than half, right? But the point is, okay, I don't know what that word meant. How am I supposed to learn this? I'm not going to learn. No one I'm around speaks like this, right? No one. Pans. Okay, I remember asking, was it cast iron or stainless? I didn't know what it was. Was it a texture thing? Let's just continue.
At how the language of identity has become so exaggerated. And as expected, the backlash was swift. Suddenly, the woke crowd was accusing him of insensitivity and bullying. Here's the reality.
Bro.
Hollywood hates Tim Allen because he's not afraid to ask the questions they'd rather ignore.
Starting in 75, do you still enjoy stand-up, my friend, as much as you did in the early days?
There's moments that it's more. It reminds me of my anarchist background.
And they've tried
Right, Tim Allen was a gangster, guys. Look up this man's past. Like before he was look at what he did before he was famous. Okay? Have fun with it. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what Tim Allen did. Not accused of, what was he charged with? All right? This man was a gangster. All right? And not in like a super positive way, but he was a gangster.
Everything to cancel him, from social media outrage to pulling him off the screen. But guess what? Tim doesn't play by Hollywood's rules. Let's rewind a bit to ABC's cancellation of Last Man Standing. In case you didn't know, Last Man Standing was one of ABC's top-rated shows.
Okay.
Let's talk about Last Man Standing. Congrats on this.
No, thanks very much.
I watched it when it was on ABC.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it wasn't on ABC.
Tell the 300 of the crew and everybody the same thing. We're all going, this is the best show I've ever been on. What? We're off the air. We all thought we were at the top of their game at ABC. Who knows how networks work? I don't know, but it was dropped.
It was second only to Modern Family, yet they dropped it like a hot potato. Why? Because Tim Allen dared to portray a likable conservative on mainstream TV.
Right, and I don't like gum in there too, but all right, when we're driving around, what do other people do when they see us?
They do this.
You know why they do that? This truck is older than you. but it's a classic, and people realize it's a classic. And you're a classic, too.
How flattering. I'm an old truck.
And in Hollywood, that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
As Tim himself put it, there's nothing more dangerous, especially in this climate, than a funny, likable conservative.
I was invited by, we did a VIP thing.
That's
for
actually
the
valid,
vets, and
I
went
think.
to the Veterans Ball, and so I went to go see Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I went to the inauguration. It was
I'm not attacking you.
You're getting this down. I'm not kidding. You got to be real careful around here. You know, you get beat up. If you don't believe what everybody believes, this is like 30s Germany. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
If you're not part of the group.
They didn't even try to hide it. Tim's politics were clearly the problem, but he didn't back down. Instead, he called it out. But here's where it gets interesting. ABC might have canceled him, but Fox stepped in to pick up Last Man Standing and keep it running. So while ABC tried to make an example out of Tim, he ended up with a fresh platform to reach his audience. And it doesn't end there. Then there's Tim's new show, The Santa Clauses, on Disney+. The very fact that Disney brought him back shows they know Tim Allen isn't going anywhere. They might try to censor him, but they also know he's got a loyal fan base that Hollywood can't ignore. Now, here's where things really heat up. In The Santa Clauses, Tim's character makes a small joke, saying,
Like what?
Merry Christmas to all. Oh, wait, I forgot that saying Merry Christmas is suddenly problematic. More outrage. A single joke about Merry Christmas was enough to send the woke Twitterverse into a meltdown. Some called it offensive. Others said it was politically divisive.
Bro.
But let's be real.
Bro, listen, okay? I am someone who is not the most religious human on this planet. I've read the Bible multiple times, King James Version specifically, multiple times. I read the Torah, I read the Mahabharata, guys, the Egyptian Book of Life, like just, and the dead. Listen, here's the thing here, guys. I have no problem with the concept of religion, but my main concern here is that you can say whatever you want to say, okay? You want to say Merry Christmas to me? I don't mind. I'll say it back to you, right? I'm telling you. It's completely fine. But those who, for some reason, hear something and then completely fly off the handle, bro, why does it matter? Just be nice to your fellow human for the most part, guys. This person here wants to say Merry Christmas. No problem. Merry Christmas. If you say Happy Holidays to me, I'm going to say Merry Christmas. I grew up with Christmas, bro. All right? I'm just going to say it. The 25th of December is Christmas Day and 24th is Christmas Eve. What am I supposed to say here? All right. Okay. Blame my parents. Okay. In that instance, my parents did not raise me religious at all. Right. But I was baptized. Either way, let's continue.
It's the Santa Clauses. A joke about Christmas should be the least surprising thing in a Christmas show. But no, to the woke crowd, this was a massive red flag. Podcaster and filmmaker Scott Weinberg was among the first to light the fire on Twitter. He shared the line with an outraged, Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic post, and the internet went wild. The comments started flooding in, with people tearing into Tim Allen for, wait for it, bringing right-wing politics into Christmas.
Wow.
One commenter even threw out the idea that Tim's Santa character must be a MAGA supporter. It's almost funny. A joke about Christmas in the Christmas series had the entire woke crowd losing sleep. Because to them, Tim Allen isn't just a comedian.
Right.
He's a problem that needs to be canceled.
Okay.
And yet, no matter how hard they try, he keeps coming back. He's like Hollywood's worst nightmare, the conservative comedian who just won't go away. But here's the real thing. Tim Allen doesn't just face backlash from Twitter mobs. The entire Hollywood system is set up to silence voices like his. In his words, the thought police are everywhere. He's talked about how political correctness has reshaped comedy, making it nearly impossible for comedians to take risks. He's not afraid to share how this affects him either. He's explained that he's had to tweak his own material, adjusting his jokes so that they won't get him canceled by today's ultra-sensitive standards. Tim came up in comedy inspired by legends like Richard Pryor.
And Richard Pryor was nuts.
And Lenny Bruce. Comedians who pushed boundaries, who weren't afraid to make people uncomfortable. Now every joke is dissected, every word analyzed.
Yeah.
And for comedians like Tim, it's a nightmare. He once joked on The View that he'd probably get canceled just for using words he heard from his own parents.
I'm surprised they haven't, because I do use some provocative words.
And what's crazy is the voice is the one who would cancel you.
But I tell them it's words that really got from my parents. Yeah. You know, they said this stuff, and we talked about it. I can't even say it here. I can't even point to it.
Yeah.
It is an alarming thing for comedians. But my act has really been about family and kids and growing up anyway. But I was going to say, I do some stuff. The women in my life were, whatever political party it was, always they hated the government and who's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
They always argued about that over vodka.
That's how far we've come. Tim isn't the type to back down. On the contrary, he's doubled down. He's publicly said he doesn't want to live in fear of being canceled. In fact, he'd rather face the backlash than sacrifice his integrity. And it's that defiant attitude that has kept him in Hollywood, no matter how hard they try to get rid of him. And here's the thing. Tim Allen has become the poster child for anti-cancel culture. Every time the woke crowd tries to cancel him, he gets another job, another role, and another wave of fans who appreciate his refusal to cave.
Yeah, I would say him and Dave Chappelle.
He's managed to create a career that stands in defiance of Hollywood's approved narrative. They might hate him for it, but they can't ignore him. The best part? Tim Allen isn't even fazed by their attempts to cancel him. While Twitter mobs rant and
It's kind of a contradictory statement, because based off of a couple of things you've already said, sir, but
rave, he keeps moving forward. When Last Man Standing got the boot from ABC, Fox took it up in a heartbeat. When Disney tried to replace him by bringing in Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear, it didn't make a dent in his career. And now he's back on Disney Plus with the Santa Clauses, delivering lines that he knows will send Twitter into a tailspin. And let's not forget his stance on cancel culture itself.
That's good.
In one interview, Tim went on record saying that he understands the pressure, but he won't compromise his comedy just to keep a few people happy. He's openly criticized how society has become so quick to cancel people, saying it's like being back in high school, where everyone is ready to jump on you for the slightest misstep. To Tim, the whole situation is absurd. He's joked that he half expects people to cancel him just for using words that his own parents used. That cancel culture has made it so comedians have to explain every single joke, just in case it gets taken out of context.
Right.
And he's right. That's exactly what's happening. And it's why so many comedians are falling silent, terrified of saying something that could ruin their careers. But Tim Allen, he's still going. Despite the mob, despite the networks trying to blacklist him, and despite Hollywood's obsession with silencing dissenting voices, Tim Allen remains non-cancelable. And that's why he's the ultimate example of resilience in a world obsessed with canceling anyone who dares to step out of line. In the end, Tim Allen has humiliated woke Hollywood by simply refusing to be silenced. They can try to censor him, they can pull his shows, and they can rage on Twitter, but he's still standing. And that, my friends, is why Tim Allen has humiliated Hollywood in the best way possible, by staying true to himself. So if you're on Team Tim Allen, if you're tired of Hollywood's endless virtue signaling, hit that like button and subscribe for more celebrities destroying woke culture.
All right, and the name of the channel that this video came from is called Woke Watchers. Ooh, this is a rough one, guys. Right? I am definitely on the team of we need to be able to say and express ourselves in ways that are adequate. Don't get me wrong. And just like the other individuals who are freaking out over everything that is not even, freak outable, let's say, right? It's just let them do it. But at the same time, they should not be able to tell other people that that have different, a different mindset or a different overall outlook on life to not speak because it's against what you're saying. It's just the weirdest thing in the world, guys. I mean, one group calls the other group all types of names, like fascists and things like that, right? But it's crazy that it seems like you don't want other people to have different viewpoints and be able to speak. Because it doesn't agree with you. They don't agree with you, right? It's wild. I want you to do what you want to do, but you can't really shut my mouth, right? You can't. Not my mouth. But, all right. Like, the only thing I have to do generally is try not to curse, all right? And not allow too many curses on my channel because YouTube likes to limit my videos, meaning that they'll just basically stop everything on my channel, on that video, if I allow cursing and things like that. But other than that, I'm ready for any type of conversation, okay? But all right, either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.